All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Aluminum Tarot. I'm going to be reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of February 2026, and that means love times. We're going to be reading for people about, Valentine's Day era season. I guess it's the season of love, if you want to look at it that way, or at least the commercialization thereof. And we're going to see what's taking place on a sincere and genuine, motive. We're going to see what's taking place in your energies for this month. And we're going to read not necessarily who's coming in unless that shows up, but what we will be talking about is what's guiding and what's kind of leading you into the current state that you're in based on your love life, past, present, and future, and then some of the other, necessities taking place. God, if I can get my words together, the necessary things that you may need to do. So, for example, some advice or other things that may influence your reading. So, that said, without further ado, if you like what you see here on this channel, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell, so that way we can continue to grow the channel, to increase ourselves on the algorithm, and to become more visible and seen. That's the main thing that I'm trying to accomplish, if I had to have any kind of specific goals with the channel, is to just boost its visibility and get the message out to more people. If you want to go the extra mile and leave, a monetary contribution or donation, please feel free to do that in the PayPal link in the description box below. And that is always much, much appreciated, no matter how small the donation. So that said, we're going to peruse what's taking place for you, Virgo. You're the sixth sign of the zodiac. And for you, you have number 12, the Hangman. And this is your energy for pretty much the month of February. But there's a good reason for it, because you have the Six of Cups in the reverse. There have been a lot of people receiving the Six of Cups as a clarifying card for their main energy as the outcome for the month. And a lot of that has to do with being able to process and understand what kinds of emotions or feelings that you've had towards your dating life leading up to this point. Because in the near future, by the end of the month, you'll look back at it and you're going to be reflecting on what that means to you. So in this essence, when we have the Hangman, what they're doing is they're putting themselves in a very uncomfortable position in order for them to truly ascertain a point of view, an understanding, or some kind of epiphany. And that is precisely what you're looking for. You're looking for an epiphany on the nature of the relationships that you've had in the past, which have made you feel absolutely, off kilter or out of control. And with the Six of Cups in the reverse, that is definitely, it can be one of two ways that this manifests. Either A, you're feeling negative about someone from the past or a general situation overall, or B, there's a sense of limerence that has attached to your heart, and you're thinking about a person from the past in a very toxic or inefficient or potentially detrimental manner toward yourself. So that said, we're going to look into some of the energies taking place for you in the recent past. You have the Nine of Cups in the reverse, and additionally, you have the Two of Cups in the reverse. Good God, clarifying what this is, taking place for your recent past. So if I can talk and if I can get my brain together, because my brain is a bit tired at the moment, I'm going to try to push through this and get this message out here. What we see here in the recent past, you have felt a sense of low self-worth. You have felt that, possibly there have been some energies of codependency that have guided you in previous relationships. And what that has done, that has created a bit of a detachment from your head and your heart, and additionally, a fallout in the relationships that you've had with others. I'm going to quickly clarify this to see what's taking place a little more. Clarify, recent past. So, I just said a detachment, and then I get the Lovers in the reverse, clarifying the Two of Cups in the reverse. So it's precisely what has been coming out here. We have a sense where you're no longer attached to the ideas of romance and the idea of having a partner, because you've had to overcome these difficulties with your codependent energies, or maybe just not feeling that you have been blessed with an equal that is a wish fulfillment in your life, and instead you have been met with a lot of disappointment. And so, with that said, what evidences this is the Ten of Swords as your current energy. The Ten of Swords is basically something is at its lowest point. This is the hard times card. This is the card that says it's at the bottom of the barrel. This is as bad as it gets. Rock bottom, as they'd say. And clarifying this is the Six of Wands. And I'm not really sure exactly why it's got the Six of Wands in such a way. Clarify Six of Wands. Okay, so good. Now, the Six of Wands may run contradictory to whatever it is that is causing this feeling of hurt and feeling at your lowest point. But you have something that you can actually celebrate, which is finally getting clear on the matters that have guided your life to date. And so when you deal with a lot of poor choices in relationships or poor decisions of people that you've attracted in your life, you now have a golden opportunity. Because we're at the Ten of Swords and not the Nine of Swords, where it's just like robbing you of your ability to see things clearly. The Ten of Swords is rock bottom. So now there's only one way to go, and that's up. And with this, this allows for you to have a private victory that you can receive by getting clear on the matter at hand. What do I need to cut out? What do I need to do? You are no longer in a bitterness feeling per se, but you're in the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is one of the cards that mostly embodies the type of person who has gone through a lot of shit in their dating and romance life. And what they're doing now is they have one hand outstretched, saying, I'm here, I'm listening, but if you come at me the wrong way, if you tell me a lie, if you deceive me, if you want to chat shit to me in any way, shape, and form, I'm lobbing your head off or your tongue comes with me. And that's basically the way that the Queen of Swords approaches everything. She's stern. She is open and receptive, but she takes no bullshit and she does not suffer the fools gladly. This is one of my favorite cards of the whole of the tarot deck because this is the card that I embody quite a bit, with a large percentage of my chart being in the sign of Libra. I think I have about 4 or 5 placements there. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's all about getting clear, including my Saturn in Libra, getting clear on relationships and how my specific karma has led to my current situation. And then furthermore, the best way to cut out the dross, which is holding me back. This then in turn allows for me to have healthier relationships, and in turn gives me the opportunity to find someone that is going to be of a better caliber than the previous women that I've attracted in the past, or the previous women that I have allowed in my past. And in your situation, it will be slightly different, depending on what it is. This is just an algorithm. This can apply to a job and another situation, but we're specifically talking about love for this reading. So that's what we're going to focus on. You then, Virgo, have the Eight of Wands in the reverse and the Knight of Swords. So this is a happy, healthy, polite way of saying fuck off. And so if you have Taurus or if you have Sagittarius in your chart, they also got the good FU cards. That kind of evidence that, you're not really feeling it where people come into your life and are a net negative or a net liability. You're actually looking at people and you're saying, if you're not coming correct, you get the boot. And that boot is either going to be up your arse or it's going to be at your throat if you come at me the wrong way. And what it's important for you to understand is you have to know when to block people that are detrimental to your quality of life and your quality of relationships. And the Knight of Swords defends this with an ardent vigor that is not seen in many parts of the tarot. The Queen of Swords is very calm with it, but then you proceed into the Knight of Swords where you start chopping heads, metaphorically speaking. We're not going to get into any violence, but It's like you're communicating with someone, say, for example, and this is an example I can use based on my experience with dating. I tried the dating apps. You meet people, they may be all right, you may meet up with them, they may cancel on you. And then after a while, you're just kind of like, you know what, this sucks. And then when you start noticing the signs that a person is coming with the same bullshit energy, you can swiftly cut them out because you see the signs. You can block them, you can move on, say next. And that's the kind of energy that you have to have. You have to be able to spot, see, and know when a person is worth your time and when they're not worth your time. And in doing so, you will be able to finally defend your energy the way it is necessary. And you're no longer stuck in this energy of, you know, oh, woe is me, nothing's ever coming into my life. It's just like, by the end of it, by the end of February, you're just like, if nothing comes in my life, I've still got myself. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell the rest of these people on these apps, the rest of the people I've been meeting in person that have not treated me with the respect and potentially the love that you deserve, you can cut them out because there's no point in them being there in the first place. They don't add anything to your life, and they're not going to allow you to have the things that you so need and the ones that you desire. So that's why you're now reflecting on these bitter feelings from the past. It's like, are these bitter feelings worth it? Is this something that I've been doing that's caused this? Is there something I can do to challenge this narrative that I've built for myself? Clarify the outcome one more time. Clarify the outcome again. Yeah. So your card has shown up. Your card is that of the Hermit. It's card number 9. You have taken yourself out of the dating market. You have become, once again, one of the many readings that I've done for this whole series about people going their own way. Migto, if you want to call it that. That can be men going their own way or madams going their own way, whatever you want to call it. Misses going their own way. And that is also clarified by the 3 of Pentacles. So it's going to be you focusing on your practical goals in life, things that you can control. And that goes back to the old adage where you're saying, you know, God grant me the serenity to change the things that I can, to accept the things that I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. With those 3 adages, you can see that in the 3 of Pentacles here, those will be the things that you do. You're just going to focus on your work, career. You're going to go inwards, reflect on these things. You have 2 cards which are diametrically opposed. You have the card of Virgo, which is the Hermit, going in, finding that inner wisdom. You have the card of Pisces, going in, finding that inner wisdom. And these are actually cards on the major arcana, which are telling you that this is the way that you're going to find that. And you being Virgo, you're going to have no problem with that, hopefully. Going in, seeing where things can improve, where things can change, maybe even if it's something that you actually want. Is there anyone actually coming in for Virgo? What is the likelihood? What is the likelihood that someone is coming in for Virgo? Clarify again. Who's coming in for Virgo? No, I don't see it. We have here, you're not wanting to give to it, and you're not going to be open enough to receive anything new. So, sorry, here. Sorry, throat's going out because I've been speaking quite a bit today. What is the likelihood that within the next 6 months, Virgo will be able to find something? So, it's quite possible that probably not, but it just really depends. It's up to you. It could be once you give yourself enough healing, you probably won't be out there giving a lot of energy to this type of stuff. Or even more so, you won't be able to find the breakthrough that you need until you go ahead and you start to focus on how you feel inside. inside yourself, inside your emotional state, your mind. And once you explore all of that, that will give you the chance to open up. You don't want to be on the defense all the time. And the interesting thing about Virgos is that they represent defense. And this is what I explain to a lot of people. And I hope I haven't reread this sign. When you deal with the military, Leos represent the general, Virgos represent the military itself. And what we notice about this is that Leo is outwardly shown. They give their commands. The Virgos are the ones that die for the commands. The things that they're supposed to live up to, the words that have been spoken, and the plans that have been enacted. So in your case, what you will be doing, you will be on that defensive route for quite a bit of time, defending yourself from the people who have put you in this type of energy. This is a type of energy that needs to be healed across the spectrum when it comes to any kind of dating, love relationships, or so on, because there are a lot of selfish people in this world. And this is a fact. This is a matter of fact. Additionally, and it may sound very harsh saying this, but it just might be human nature to a lot of people to just, apply the Pareto principle to, human nature. 80% of the world might be just completely devoid of any ability to connect with other people. And then there might be a good 20% of those people who are just trying to elevate themselves and understand the universe and the way it operates and to get out of the bullshit. And so with that said, your road is going to be a long and winding one. So we have here a long road for your Kipper card. Normally that would say this is the type of person that you are going to meet. And there may be a long road before you meet that person. I'm just going to be honest because I'm not going to sugarcoat these readings and what they're supposed to insinuate for you. You may just be looking at this and saying to yourself that it's going to be a long time before I actually open up, give my heart to anyone, and to reflect on what you've experienced in the past in order for you to receive much better in the near future. And I'm hoping that this happens for you. Maybe, you might get lucky. This is just a snapshot of what's taking place now. But what we have here as the card, that is your oracle message from the oracle, the Guides of the Hidden Realms oracle. We do have the burden of choice. What it tells us is that we must choose the higher ground. We must learn from our consequences and the unconscious choice making that we have had for our lives up to date. And so what we're doing now, every choice that we make is a choice to go a different pathway on our life and in our future. And the choices that we make lead to the karma that we have created for ourselves in love for this specific reading. And we are going to move forward in life by making new choices that will then lead to our betterment, our empowerment, our ability to love again and to find the right types of people. This needs to be front and center. This is the epitome of this channel. Aluminum Tarot is about receiving the knowledge needed to empower and better, and to better your life. So that way things can work on a much grander scale, devoid of all of the pains, the pitfalls, and the heartbreak that you've experienced from the past. That's going to help you out, and that's going to do you a world of service. That said, rant over. Thank you so very much. This has been Aluminum Tarot. I really appreciate your time and allowing me to do these readings for you. If you got something out of this, hopefully leave your comments below. Let me know how this applies to your life and what you plan to do for the time being, or even how your life is going. This may apply to you, it may not. It's for a specific Virgo who needs to hear the message. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so very much. Until next time, love and light. See you then. Happy Valentine's Day.